Well, I'm here at the airport in Huntsville, Alabama. Getting ready to blast off to begin my Southeast Asia chapter, journey, experience. New start, my reset. We boarded. Matter of fact, they're tagging small bags right now, so I guess we'll be supposed to depart at 7 o'clock. It's just about 6:25, 6:30, something like that. So we'll be flying to Dallas and have a 1 hour and 40-minute layover in Dallas. Of course, my concern originally was because of this short layover. I don't have no idea how far my connection is from my entry gate, so hopefully it's not in the concourse or wherever. It's not too far. But I thought I was flying American Airlines to Dallas, and then in Dallas, hop on a Japanese airline to Tokyo. But instead, I'm flying American Airlines to Dallas and American Airlines to Tokyo as well. So the likelihood of they're in communication with each other. The likelihood of me not making my connection is slim. It's company policy to wait on your passengers. There's a second leg and it's an international flight. So fortunately, we're leaving early. I assume it's not a lot of air traffic right now, especially not in here. It doesn't appear to be a lot of flights leaving out right now. So I think we're going to get out on time. But this is my so long for now to Huntsville. And we're going to get ready to board. She told me I didn't have to tag. They're tagging smaller bags now, but only, I had to get a clarification. Only bags that are on rollers, smaller bags that are on rollers, because apparently this is a smaller flight, so smaller plane, rather. So I'll check back in with you guys when I get to Dallas. Okay, peace. Just arrived in Dallas.
Thank you for flying with us.
Just arrived in Dallas, so I thought we were leaving Huntsville a little late, but apparently like 15 minutes ahead of schedule. That's great, because I only had originally like an hour and 40-minute layover. We arrived in like Terminal E, so a connecting flight to Narita, Tokyo, leaves in about another hour and 40 minutes out of Terminal D3, D36. So yeah, we're here in Dallas. So we're gonna get off this plane. Okay, just boarded the flight to Narita, Japan. Just boarded. I'm in row 30. It's a triple wide. A two-way entry, two-way exit. One of the biggest noticeables right off the bat. On my last flight, my excursion flight, my reconnaissance flight back in November, I flew, what's the name of that airline? What's the name of that airline I flew? It wasn't United. It was a foreign air carrier. I forget which one it was. But the leg room was much greater. You know, there was a lot. It was much roomier. You know, on the foreign air flag air carrier versus what we have here on American Airlines, American air carrier. You know, you're always gonna get less for more. You know, when you're dealing with our familiar characters, right? So, but this is a 14-hour trek right here from Dallas to Narita. I think it's Narita. I think that's what you pronounce it, Narita, Japan. So we're on our way. I was trying to get organized in here, man. You know, I have to have an aisle seat. You know, I'm not sitting in the middle if I can avoid it. I'm not sitting by the window if I can help it. You know, but I like ease of movement. I want to be able to get in and out of here. If I have to use the bathroom, man, I don't want to. And folks are getting ready to eat or are eating. I don't want to have to I don't want to have to hold it and wait for them to get done. You know, it's interrupting their meal time. You know, so thank God I got me. You know, I did this time and I always do book an aisle seat. I've been back when I was just a young lad. You know, I used to really enjoy it. I want the window. You know what I mean? But that was then and this is now. I prefer the aisle seat for convenience. But anyway, I assume we're gonna take off probably in the next 30 minutes or so. Then it's 14 hours, 12 hours, 11, 12 hours, something like that. And then of course, once we hit Tokyo, we're supposed to hit Tokyo tonight. Right now in Dallas, it's like 9:45, almost 10:30. The flight leaves at 10:45 a.m. and we're supposed to arrive in Tokyo, Japan, right around 9 to 10 o'clock midnight. And then we have a 3-hour layover in Tokyo. Then, of course, the last leg over to Bangkok is about 7 hours. We're supposed to arrive in Bangkok. Time is different. It said we're supposed to arrive in Bangkok around, maybe my time is wrong. We're supposed to arrive in Bangkok around 11:59. Yeah, 11:59 p.m. Darn near 12 midnight, you know, on the 1st of February. The day is the 31st of January. We'll arrive the 1st of February. But anyway, you know, praise God. Peace to y'all. And we're praying for a safe journey. All right?
Nice.
So y'all, flat paper spoons, whatever. It's not silverware. But what I got, I have like a beef stroganoff roll. No, just water, baby. Water. I have water.
I know. I know you're filming it now. Isn't it cute?
Thank you so much.
So water's all you need?
Yes, ma'am. That's all I need.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay.
What can I get for you to drink, sir?
The salad and a potato salad. The flight attendant just told me I was. Excuse me. What did you just now say? Say it again. What did you just now say?
I said, isn't he cute?
Thank
Now,
you.
don't put it on social
I won't.
media.
Okay, we just arrived in Tokyo, Japan. Long flight, 13 hours. Good flight, smooth sailing all the way. Had 2 meals and a sandwich snack. I ate the one meal, I ate the sandwich snack. I didn't eat the second meal, I wasn't hungry. But I hydrated myself really well. But I'm feeling energized. I got some good rest, you know. I don't feel tired, fatigued, or anything like that. Or exhausted, or whatever. But yeah, man, we are in Tokyo, Japan. Got 3-hour layover, 3-hour, I think 40-minute layover, which is sufficient because, fortunately, since I have a connection flight, I'll be getting on Japan Airlines. That flight is not leaving until 6 this evening, so it's 3 something here at the moment. 2, 3, yeah. So, and the weather looks nice outside. So, headed to my gate 94 in Japan. I'm gonna take my time. I got about 3 hours, so we don't board till 6. It's right around 2, 3. So I'm not rushing. I got this big backpack on my back, right? I got my small bag. Maybe you can see my backpack on the back. My backpack on the back. This thing is about, it gotta be all of 40 pounds. But you know, I make light work of this right here. I can remember during my, military days, I was competing, but not really competing. Yeah, well, I was competing against myself for air assault. Air assault involves actually propelling from a helicopter, right? So I took the air assault course in, I forgot where it was, but one of the activities or the activities you had to pass in order to get your air assault badge, which is a coveted air assault badge, like combat medic or anything like that. One of the competitions, I don't know why I keep using the wrong phrase to describe it. The requirements, I'll just say requirements. One of the requirements is to walk 12 miles with a 20, 30. I forget how heavy the rucksack had to be, but with a rucksack, 20, 30 pound rucksack, and a rifle in full combat gear, helmet, the whole 9 yards, right? 12 miles. Had to do it in 3 hours. You fail that, you fail air assault. All that time you spent going through all the various stations that you had to pass, right? If by chance you fell that 12-mile road mark at the end, it was all null and void, baby. So I'm making somewhat light work of this. I'm gonna have to. Let's get on down here. I saw folks walking around with these right here. They have a station right here in the airport. I took that goddamn rucksack. Oh, that got a rucksack right there. That's about 40 pounds. Look, I'm not competing for no air assault today. Those days are over. Working hard. It's about working smarter. Today, it's about working smarter, not harder. I think it's really neat that they have these little courtesy baskets strategically located here in the airport so that you won't have to tote around a lot of heavy luggage like that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, right there. Yeah, I got my bag, my rucksack on there, the bag I'm carrying. There you go, right there. Man, this thing is heavy as hell. But it's a breeze with this little luggage carrier, little convenient luggage carrier here in Japan. It was free of charge, man. It was just sitting in the station in a little rack. You know, I appreciate it. Okay, I just boarded the Japan airline flight. It's approximately 6:45, 6:19, February the 1st. It's already February the 1st here. We made it, y'all. We made it. Home sweet home, right? Okay, it's official. You know, I guess I can officially say good morning from Bangkok, right? Yep. Today is February the 2nd. I arrived at my Airbnb around 2 a.m. this morning. Actually arrived in country at 11:59 February 1st. Down here, I'm standing in my Airbnb, 27th Washington City, coming life. I'm tired, but I'm calm. There's no rush, no pressure. This presence here right now. Man, I'm really in awe. It's been a long couple of days. Actually, it's been a long 2 months just preparing. You know, now I'm exhausted. Now I'm tired. Now I can go to sleep, but I can't go to sleep because my body clock is telling me that I should be doing something right now. But at home, of course, back in Huntsville, it's just the opposite. It's 12 hours behind. They're 12 hours behind us. So it's it's right now it's 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So it's 6 o'clock it's 6 o'clock in the evening. It's 6 o'clock in the evening back home. But still, I'm tired. I haven't gotten any sleep. I just want to show you guys. I'll give you guys my space here. I'll be calling this home for the next few weeks, right? More to follow on that. This isn't permanent, of course, and that's by design. You know, this is my landing place, a space to rest, reset, and just get oriented. Nice Airbnb, all the conveniences of home, very accommodating. At least my host was. He was present one side. Apparently, he has a couple of units in this building, and I give him a call, and boom, he rolled down to the Airbnb and got me situated. You know, I have free chips, free drinks, beer, wine, coffee, you know, the whole 9 yards. Everything was, he says, no charge. I definitely appreciate that. But as you can see, things are in somewhat disarray right now. I'm not trying to organize anything. In fact, I'm not taking anything out of my suitcases. You know, I packed pretty good, I might say. You know, I was able to get everything that I needed in my bags. Of course, I could have brought more, but, you know, I could have also overdone it, you know. But nevertheless, y'all, I'm here now. Thank God. Thank you all for your prayers, your well wishes. And I'm going to step outside for a little bit. I'm going to do a little walking, okay? Let's go. Yeah, man, I had to get out and, you know, get a little walk in. You know, the weather was beautiful outside, and the sun was shining, and my body's telling me I need to be sleeping. But, you know, again, the adrenaline is flowing. You know, I just want to get out and get into this Bangkok, you know, air. You know, I didn't want to inhale too much because, you know, the Bangkok air quality is not the very, very best. But nevertheless, I just wanted to get some sun hitting me in my face. You know, I was a little hungry, so I wanted to... just strolling, you know. He owns the sidewalk. He owns the sidewalk, man. You talking about a mix of cultures, man. You know, this is amazing. But yeah, I enjoyed this little stroll, yo. Let's go back to the room. Let's sit down and have a little chat, baby. Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is EA. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time, again, welcome. If it's not, if you've been rocking with me for a while, I certainly appreciate you more than you know. I finally made it to Bangkok. Thailand. And let me tell you, I'm so grateful and so appreciative that for all the well wishes and the kind words and the prayers that you folks sent my way. I mean, it's just humbling, you know. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say other than thank you, Lord, for having people with kind hearts, with kind spirits. And you know, we've gotten familiar with each other, you know, over a few months. But when you can sync and you can really align yourself with how people move and how people feel and how people think, and have a feel and a grasp for their situation, and feel for them in a short period of time, I think it's an indication that, you know, that there is something to be said about kindred spirits. You know, we're from the same tribe. You know, your pain is my pain is your pain. Your joy is my joy, and your joy is my joy is your joy. You know, so again, thank you so very much. I don't know how to say I'm humbled by all the well wishes and the prayers is without a doubt an understatement, because I really am. And you know, I didn't start the emotion that I felt. I really didn't experience them until I actually, because I've been so focused for the last month, 2 months or so. The first month was emotion. The second month prior to coming here was just adrenaline, you know. I was just moving because I knew that I had so many boxes I had to check. There were so many things that I wanted to do. Even though I had my plan listed out and everything, just being very, very focused, maintaining the focus and being particular about categorizing things. What should I do first? Like triaging, you know, what deserves my attention first? What's most important? And that's something, you know, that it drains you after a while. So yeah, I was moving on the adrenaline. So during the process, coming to the end, prior to moving out, flying out, you know, it was just about getting things done. So I wasn't really emotional. I didn't really feel any emotion. And I'm gonna have to admit, there's some tears started to fall. But my tears didn't start falling until after I had arrived here, and I took a few moments, some time to read some of your very heartfelt comments. And some of the comments that I read, you know, they almost brought me to tears. I was right on the edge, you know what I mean? Because I was so thankful and so grateful. And then I said, you know, what did they see? Was I going through this process numb? And when I went back and looked at the video, you know, then I started crying. I started crying. I had tears come from my eyes, you know, and I'm the one that's moving, you know. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's what happened. Yeah, I developed tears going back looking at the damn video, you know. So yeah, but I so appreciate y'all. The last week, y'all, I've been wanting to get this video out, but the last week has been difficult. It's been hard because I've experienced jet lag. And if you know anything about jet lag, man, it affects different people in different ways. Okay, for me, you know, talk about sleep deprivation. I couldn't sleep. You know, I would nap and everything, but then I would wake up at like 2 or 3 in the morning because my body clock was off, right? I forget what they called it. My body clock was off because keep in mind, right now it's 10:42 in the morning, Sunday morning. I've been here 1 week, right? 1 week. It's 10:42 Sunday morning. But stateside in Huntsville, Alabama, it's 10:42 at night. So I left Huntsville at 7 o'clock in the morning on January the 31st, okay? And I did not arrive here and I caught a flight from Huntsville, Alabama to Dallas, had an hour and some layover. Then I flew on American Airlines. Then in Dallas, I connected with I remained on American Airlines and a big wide body 3-lane aisle plane. We left Dallas at like 10:45 in the morning, right? And then we flew direct 14 hours, man. 14 hours from Dallas to Nida, I can't pronounce it, Japan, right? And I did the flight before, right? Back in November, of course, you know. But those flights, you don't get used to them, but you just have to bear and grit it. It wasn't a bad flight. They fed us real good. But the point I want to make is that once we arrived in Japan, then we had like a 3-hour layover, and we left Japan at like 6 o'clock. Japan time. And again, 6 o'clock Japan time, 6 in the evening Japan time was 6 o'clock in the morning Huntsville time. So when we left Japan at 6 o'clock in the evening, we flew from Japan. That was another 7-hour flight. It was a 7-hour flight from Japan. I had already did the 13, 14-hour long haul from Dallas to Japan. And then went from Japan to BKK. That's the abbreviation for the airport here in Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand, BKK. Got here at 11:59 at night on February the 1st. Left Huntsville January 31st, 7 o'clock in the morning. Arrived in Bangkok, Thailand at 11:59 on January the 1st. So these folks, right, they're getting ready to go to bed, right? But in Huntsville, Alabama, it was 11:59 noontime. So my body was saying, look, man, let's go to lunch, let's do some brunch, or let's do something around the house. Let's run down to Home Depot, let's run to Lowe's, let's do something. But here, when I got here, things weren't jiving, right? So my body was saying, go to sleep, right? But my body was saying stay awake, but I'm looking at it's after 12 o'clock. It's time to go to bed. So needless to say, I think I probably fell asleep probably around 4 or 5 in the morning, right? And I got up and I was tired, fatigued. And since that day, I've been out of it. I almost had a little slight case of nausea. I had crazy headaches. I had this foggy kind of a feeling, like a brain fog type feeling, this heavy feeling in my forehead, my blood pressure started spiking. I was like, oh shit, what's going on, right? So contacted the doctor. Doc said, Mr. Ahmad, calm down, sir. What you're experiencing is jet lag. Textbook jet lag symptoms. But then what? What I remember was that when I traveled here in November, right, last year, I experienced the same symptoms. It took me about 5 days to get myself together, So, and I'm gonna be honest with you, full disclosure. Today makes 1 week. Yesterday was the first day I started feeling, like myself. And I'm hard-headed. I am hard-headed. Jet lag, anytime you're flying, and they say we covered like 12 or 13 time zones. The number of time zones determine the effect or the impact of how severe your jet lag is going to be. And then also, depending on your age, that also impacts it. So man, it was like double jeopardy for me. But me, I'm hard-headed and everything. I think I'm fit and firm and agile and everything, right? I gets up in the morning, I'm down in the goddamn, excuse my language, I'm in the gym.
I'm in there just jumping in there, getting it in, man. Jumping in, right? Doing my stretch and the whole 9 yards, doing my sit-ups, right? Doing my pull-ups, doing my running and everything. Let me tell you something. When I got back to the room, when I tell you I almost collapsed, real talk, I almost collapsed. That's how bad it was. You know, I had really took myself to the limit. You never want to do that. You never want to do stuff like that, you know, when you're traveling. You got to take it easy. So by the grace of God, I can finally exhale. I can finally exhale, and I feel fabulous, you know. My accommodations here, I'm in an Airbnb. I mean, everything's around me. I mean, I can't ask for more. In an Airbnb, I have this is a nice little couch. As you can see, the decor is very, very, you know, nice and quaint and everything. Nice colors and everything. Everything blends together. You know, they're very particular, but they're very particular about that. Man, I got a big old 65-inch TV in front of me. That's mirrors over there on that side. I have a little work. I have a desk right here. I have a refrigerator right there. I have a microwave. I have a stove, the sink and everything. Refrigerator. I got a balcony. Look, in the refrigerator, they had beer in there. I'm not a beer guy. Beer. They had water. They had soft drinks. They had potato chips. They had coffee. I mean, I'm talking about Starbucks level coffee. I mean, some real good stuff, right? The good stuff. They had I got my plates, my forks, my pots, my pans. I mean, but look, let me say this. A lot of you folks, you familiar, and like my daughter, Lima, she knows all about, she knows what to expect going to the Airbnb. This is only my second time in the darn Airbnb. My first time in the Airbnb is when I checked out of my house on January the 26th and went to the Airbnb, right? And that was an experience, but that was nice, right? But I get here, man, all the night, I got a bedroom over there. The bed, man, it's like feathers. I feel like when I lay down, I feel like I'm laying on Charmin. You know, it just feels so good. The pillows are nice, and I got a view that's out of this world. Let me tell you something. I'm on the 27th floor. Now, some of y'all are height sensitive, right? I'm kind of height sensitive, but there's a lot of high rises around here. It's comfortable. I'm close enough to the ground and not be, you know, timid. I put it like that, right? I'm close enough to the ground and not be timid and not get dizzy, right? You know, like air sickness, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'm just loving it. I'm loving it. I haven't unpacked anything because I'll be in this Airbnb until I contracted it out to the 27th of February. And I did that to allow myself a sufficient amount of time to condo hunt, right? And I have an awesome, just an awesome realtor who's very attentive, been very responsive, extremely proactive. She contacts me to make sure I'm okay. She gives me the good nights and everything, you know, wishing me well. I mean, she's just a fabulous, warm spirit, you know. I've only known her a short period of time, but I just admire her disposition. You know, she's so professional. But she has lined up a number of condos for us to go take a look at. And we went out the other day and checked out 3, and I'll show those to you guys in the next few days. But I contracted this Airbnb out until the 27th to allow myself sufficient time to find the perfect fit for me, the type of accommodations that I know that I want, I'm going to be comfortable in. So. And also we're going out tomorrow to look at a few more. But originally I had a laundry list. You know, we was going back and forth. You know, but we can. You know, after I looked at, I've seen a few of them, and I've seen there's a lot of similarities. I've kind of narrowed the list down to like 3. Well, I saw one that I really liked the other day, and then there's 2 others that I saw that she sent me. We're gonna go check those out tomorrow, all right? And I think I'm gonna make a decision by Monday, God willing, by tomorrow, because I plan on being in signing a lease so that I can move in, on the 1st of March, by the 1st of March. Okay, so that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. But other than that, everything is going extremely well. What I want to share with y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I've learned some things, and some things that I picked up on when I was here for the 2 or 3 weeks last year. But just to kind of validate those things, I saw and I've kind of embraced some things since I've been here for the week. I'm gonna share those with y'all. So there's like 5 things that I've learned, that I've observed, that may be helpful to you if you're coming to Bangkok or if you're going anywhere. And I'm gonna share those 5 things with you, and then I'm gonna share with you what my first 30 days is gonna look like before I get out and really start, feeling like Edward, getting into my program, making things happen. One of the things I didn't do, and it's because for just cause, of course the jet lag had a lot to do with it and everything, but I said to myself, when I got here, I'm used to just moving. My kids always tell me, Dad, you need to just sit your butt down somewhere. Just chill, Dad. You're always moving. I just can't help it. It's in my nature. I guess it's that soldier in me. We always used to talk about, look, we got to hit the ground running, and that's just my philosophy. Just get things done, move, running water stays fresh, type of thing, don't stagnate, but as you get a little older, you get a little wiser, you realize, I'm reminded of what my dad used to tell me. He said, he used to call me Mick. He said, Mick, he said, it's a cinch by the inch, but it's hard by the yard, right? And then also, you don't bite off more than you can chew. You know what I mean? So the moral of the story is, I've learned now that you got to take your time so you won't miss nothing. And you're not going to miss anything. You're going to get where you're going to go when you're supposed to be there anyway. The Lord has governance over all that, right? So just be patient with yourself. And I said to myself, I'm going to be patient with myself. I don't have a return ticket. So what's the rush, right? What's the rush? So I'm chilling, y'all. I'm relaxing. I'm taking them one day at a time. I'm in no rush to plan anything, to get out and go anywhere specifically. Of course, I have the timeline, the things that I plan on getting done. That comforts me, and I'm gonna share that with y'all. My 30-day to-do plan comforts me because I know I got things lined up that I got to do. But again, I don't have to rush and do nothing. I'm not going. This is for all practical purposes, y'all. Lord willing, this is home. This is home now. Folks have asked me, are you coming back to the United States? Of course, that's home. That's my family there, my son and daughter there, my sisters are there, my brothers there, my family's there, my grandkids are there, you damn right I'm going back home, God willing, I'm gonna try to make it back home at least once a year, you know what I mean? I'm a jazz guy, so I'm gonna try to plan it around the Panama City Jazz Fest. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's a annual favorite for me. The Panama City Jazz Fest. If you haven't experienced it, you gotta look into it. You gotta Google it, right? So check this out. Let me share some five things that I've observed since I've been here. And what I did, I got my laptop here, right? Because I didn't want to lose my place. I didn't want to make this too long, but check this out. The first thing I observed, and I observed this before, but even more so this time, because I told you I went through the jet lag thing. When you jet lag, my symptoms were I had fogginess and it was like delayed responses. I felt like I had been drinking something, right? So I decided, you saw in the video I was out and about and everything. I was walking. While I was doing that walk, by the grace of God, God covered me, no question in my mind, because I was not thinking about traffic. Even though I saw cars coming on both sides, but it was lost to me that the traffic here in Bangkok, and it's probably in Southeast Asia, it goes. I opposite the direction our traffic goes. Whereas if you're stepping out, you're expecting traffic, right, coming this way, right, on the right-hand side, driving this way, right, and the other direction on the left-hand side. It's not like that here, right? So I'm stepping off the curb, I'm looking, and I don't see no traffic coming, so I stepped off the damn curb, y'all, and by the grace of God, instinctually, some told me to look right. When I stepped off the curb, and I'm telling you, this is real talk. When I stepped off the curb, there was a motorbike less than 50 feet from me. Motorbikes and cars. And I said, whoa, god damn. And I stepped back on the curb, and then it dawned on me. I said, and I stood there for about 5-10 minutes, man. You know, it's like everything just flashed in front of me, you know. Please, you come to this part of the world, be mindful of the direction the traffic is going. You know, look to your left, look to your right, make sure everything is clear before you walk across the street, right? And what I learned is that some of the incidents that have occurred as far as foreigners coming to this part of the world is traffic accidents. You know, people walking out into traffic, unknowing, not being mindful of what direction the traffic goes. So please, be mindful of the direction of traffic. Look both ways before you go across the street, right? That ain't simple stuff. That's real stuff. That's real talk, right? That's number one. Number two, during COVID, everybody wore a mask, right? It was expected to wear a mask. You couldn't go anywhere outside. Over here, folks still wear masks, and for just cause. The subway system is the preferred mode of travel by choice. So the subways, the BTS, the SkyTrain, they're always crowded. So the old saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Or when you in Thailand, do what the Thais do. These folks, many of them, smartly, they get on board the trolley or the subway, the sky rail, with a protective mask. And I said to myself, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do, and for just cause. Close contact, air circulation is not, is not what you expect it to be, and you don't want to get sick early on a trip, right? You do not. If you come here, you're gonna be traveling on the BTS. Make sure you bring your protective mask, right? You do not want to get sick on your trip. Okay, so yeah, man, that's another one right there. All right. Smart money moves. Check this out. Now, remember when I was here before, I got scammed. I used my credit card. I used my debit card. I used a credit card once, right? And apparently, did I use my credit card? Yeah, I used my credit card. Apparently, when I used my credit card, somebody must have swiped it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you saw the video. Go back and watch the video. I complained and I was crying and bitching and moaning and everything. They took like close to $2,800 from me, right? I said, that shit ain't gonna happen again. You got me once, you ain't get me twice. So this is what I did, y'all. Hold on, let me show y'all what I bought. Yeah, I purchased me this is an RFID wallet, right? Has little metal shields on the inside of it. Right, I have all my credit cards and all my debit cards and all that in here, right? So they can try all they want to. They're not gonna get this old boy in the future. You understand? They got their last got with me, baby. You can forget it. I am not gonna become a victim of credit card theft anymore. So I feel secure and feel comfortable about this. I purchased this from Amazon. You can purchase this item on Amazon. They have them in female version, male version. It is very nice. And also I have a little Apple tag on it, so I won't lose it, right? So that's important. Now the other thing is this right here. If you can avoid it, now here in Thailand, the only place you're gonna really spend cash is when you're dealing with street vendors. right? When you're dealing with street vendors accept cash and things of that nature. And there's some stores that accept cash, but a majority of the places that you go to purchase anything, even when you're going out to eat, right? You're gonna have to use a card. You know, you're gonna have to use a card. And my suggestion, my recommendation, my advice to you is to not use your credit cards. Not use your credit cards. What I discovered, and I learned this doing my research, listening to, watching some of the blogs on YouTube, folks that have been here who know. There's a card here. It's called a Wise card. It's a green card. You can sign up for this online, right? This is fantastic. What it is, it's like a unsecured or secured. What is it? Secured credit debit card, right? Just sign up online. It's a green card. It's called Wise. Just go online, Google it, and fill out the information. And what you do, you use this card for purchases. You transfer, right, money from your debit card or from your bank account to this particular card right here. And this is the card you use. And it does not link back to anything. If you load money on here from your debit card, if for some reason, somehow this card gets compromised, it's not gonna allow them to go any further than this card right here. What's on this card? You put as much money on this green card, this Wise card, as you choose. Okay? And this is the card you use. This is the only card I use. I do not use my credit cards. I do not use my debit card. So there's no connection, direct link. There's no vestibule. There's no avenue. There's no portal. No way, shape, or form can any scammer, if they should hawk this card, this Wise card, all they're gonna get is what I put on here. All right. So yeah, be mindful of that. Check this out. This is awesome. This is excellent. The Wise card. All right. Next up, all right. If you're traveling here, one thing you'll discover is that all the foreigners, you know the foreigners for the most part. You'll know foreigners primarily because they walk around with these. This is a little pouch that I purchased from Amazon, right? You want to always have a pouch, right? You know why? Because you want all your stuff in here, right? All your personal papers. You want everything that connected to you, right, in here. Not your clothes and everything. Leave your toothbrush at home, right? But you want your wallet in here. Most importantly, you want your passport. You want to keep your passport with you at all times. At all times. Because you're in a foreign country. Document. You're foreign. You're in a country. You don't want any incident. Anything can happen. Anything can happen to you. And if you're over here and there's no way for them to identify you, then what you gonna do? So you gotta keep your passport with you when you travel. I don't care where you're going. I don't care if you look. I don't care where I'm going. If I'm leaving out of here, Starbucks right downstairs, I put my stuff on. The gym room right downstairs, I put my backpack on. My little side pack, right? This was not expensive. Little commodity here, and I consider it a commodity. I think I paid about $18 for this on Amazon. Check this out. Now, if there's children in the room, you might want to send them out the room, right? I'm gonna give you 5 seconds, right? Give you 5 seconds to send the kids out the room, right? Okay, look. The next thing I want to share with y'all that I've learned is that they got this thing. Have you ever heard of the term bidet? Man, they got this thing over here called a bidet, man. And the bidet is a game changer. Let me tell you, that damn bidet. We import so much stuff that we don't need, and practices we don't need. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. The United States need to import and get with the bidet system, because when you talking about cleanliness, when you talking about good hygiene, man, that bidet thing. Once you experience that bidet, you ain't going back to just straight old toilet paper. You understand what I'm saying? The bidet is in the bathroom. It's a Japanese invention. Where once you finish doing your thing, right? You either reach to the side, hit a button, or reach to the side and grab the bidet and skirt yourself off, or you hit a little button, right? And this little thing comes out of the toilet, inside the toilet, and it kind of splash. You can get a little splish splash. You know what I mean? You get up, man, feeling, fresh and so fresh, so clean. Feel like you done went through a car wash. And I'm gonna tell you something. You come to realize that, damn, where was I? How did I ever go this long without a damn bidet, right? Because I'm gonna tell you, and here's another thing. A lot of bathrooms you go to here, a lot of bathrooms don't have no toilet paper. They don't have no toilet paper. All they have is a bidet. Now, that's why, you might want to have, you use some wet ones. Sisters, y'all carry them all the time. Some wet ones in your purse and everything, and did that, tap, 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 that type of thing. Brothers, a lot of times we finish doing what we doing, and we just throw the thing back in and have all kind of stuff over, inside the gum, that type of thing. But the bathrooms don't have, a lot of the bathrooms don't have toilet paper. So you get up, you might be a little squishy, squashy, a little moist and everything, so it's advisable to put some in some papers inside your purse or whatever the case might be, brothers, inside your pocket, so you can dab yourself off. You understand? So you won't walk away dripping, right? So that's it. All right, that's enough of that, right? That's enough of that. All right, what's my 25-day projection or roadmap, right? And I know I've been a little long-winded. Tolerate me for a minute. All right, let me share this with you guys, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Okay, first thing for me, right? Like I said earlier, was to rest and recover, right? Let my body and my mind adjust. You got to do that. You got to let your body and your mind adjust. You just can't get here and just start running because of the time difference, all right? Again, that's something that I didn't do, and I overdid it, and as a consequence, I got, started feeling bad. So, give yourself time to rest and recover from travel before you get out. Even if you travel, even if you're coming on vacation, give yourself at least a day. That first day, try not to get out. Just chill, right? Stay at your hotel. I know you're gonna be at a nice place. Stay at a hotel. Enjoy the surroundings and what accommodations they have to offer, amenities they have to offer. Just give yourself a chance to rest and relax, right? Number two, right? Afterwards, get out. What I've tried to do, get out and learn the neighborhood. See what's around me. What conveniences. I'm gonna tell you what's big here. 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is second to none. 7-Eleven is like Macy's. 7-Eleven is like whatever the most popular store is in your neighborhood, in your city, in the United States. 7-Eleven is what's going on. Let me tell you, everybody loves 7-Eleven. They exalt 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is the most popular enterprise in Bangkok. Trust me. All right. So 7-Elevens are around almost on every corner. We got a 7-Eleven downstairs, and they open in long hours. I forget. I don't know exactly what time they close, but they got everything. You can even pay your telephone bill at 7-Eleven. So, and some folks say you can even buy plane tickets at 7-Eleven. But learn the neighborhood. That's really important. Establish a simple daily rhythm. That's one of the things I've been trying to do, right? And that consists of just getting up. This is what I want to do. Like I said, this is my first week. I'll be getting up in the morning, going down, getting me a little workout on, and from there, starting my day, because I already have everything planned. I know what I want to get done. So, yeah, establish a routine. I don't feel lazy. I feel so energetic while I'm here, because the city moves. The city moves. You can be left behind. Ain't no turtles out here. Ain't never rabbits out here. So, you definitely want to do that. Establish yourself a simple, daily routine. Once you get over here, because that's really extremely important. That's something I've tried to do. That I'm trying to do. Establish a good routine, right? Set up permanent mobile phone access. Now, once you get in country, once you arrive here, you're gonna still have your telephone number and everything, but you got to get hooked up to their Wi-Fi, because you're not gonna have no Wi-Fi here if you don't sign up for a Wi-Fi plan. And once you get off the plane, go through customs, they got the booths out here, and the first thing you want to do is go and sign up get you a Wi-Fi plan. Whether you're going to be here for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. For me, I went ahead and got a 15-day plan, because just before that run out, I'll go and get a permanent plan that's going to carry me on. Okay, so I got to set that up. As a matter of fact, I tried to do that a couple of days after I got here, and they told me, well, Mr. Ahmad, you still have another 12 days on the current plan that you initiated once you got off the plane. So phone plan, you got to have that. The other thing I got to do, right, I'm going to go to the medical care, healthcare here is almost second to none. In some cases, the accommodations and availability and affordability and surpasses that in the United States, right? The technology is on par. If you Google it, you'll find where does Thailand stand in terms of medical treatment, care and so forth, healthcare, around the world. And I guarantee you, it'll be between 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. And of course, again, when I say 1, sometimes it's above the U.S. healthcare system as far as the quality of care. All right. So what I plan on doing is once I determine what part of the city I'm going to live in, right? They have hospitals all over the place. I'll go to that hospital and I'll pre-register. I'm going to pre-register. So that in any event something should happen, something should occur, bam, I can just go in and they know who I am. They have some background on me. Right. So, that's extremely important. So healthcare preparation, pre-register at local hospital. That's something I got to do. Also, once I determine where I'm going to be living, is I've got to identify a dentist, right? Because I got to get some work done. So finding me a good dentist, somebody, that's reputable, checking out some reviews, talking to some other expats. And that's what they call folks from the United States, from other countries that come to this country or any other place, called expat, expatriates, right? You're not or immigrant, not necessarily immigrant, but expatriate, expat. So I've got to do that, right? And the other thing is, now here's a big one. I read where folks were saying, well, you sure you want to go over there? Folks are leaving. What do you mean folks are leaving? Nobody's leaving here that wants to stay here. People are leaving here because they can't stay here. Because let me tell you something about Thailand. Thailand has a strict code. They really enforce immigration. And that's what most countries, 99.9% of the countries throughout the world. You're not going to just walk into the country and say, look, I want a job. You're not going to just walk into the country and say, this is hard inside. I'm not, drawing no attention to, comparing the U.S. or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm talking strictly Thailand. In Thailand, once you travel here, you're on automatic, you have on a 60-day tourist visa, if you will, right? You have to, the card that you sign on the plane when you're going to Cancun and all that. You got to do that. That card allows you access into the country. That's only good for 60 days. Now, after 60 days, you can extend it for another 30 days, so you're a maximum of 90 days, right? After that, either you're going to have to, before that time, you need to apply for a visa, which there are numerous visas, or you got to go, right? Now, what was happening is that, and they cracked down on it since then, folks, when they wasn't heavily enforcing it, folks would come in, right, just on a regular old travel visa and stay for 60 days, and they'd extend it for 90 days, and they'd go out of the country. They might go to Vietnam, they might go to Laos or wherever, border country, and they just go in for a couple of days and come back in. And what would happen is that the clock will start all over again. Then they got another 60 days, then they can extend for another 30 days. They wiped that stuff out. They wiped it out, right? So people that was who was getting over doing that, in fact, they're online saying, this is all you got to do. You know how these folks be on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram be putting all this mess out here. And they, like, these officials are not reading and not listening. They don't have people watching. And they're okay, all right. They getting on the boat. Yeah, they check this bag right here. Check that small bag. Look at that. Look under that line. And they got alcohol in that thing, all right? I saw it on TikTok, ways to get over on the cruise ships. Look, let me tell you something. You come in here, if you do not, after that 90 days, and what some people was doing, they was coming in and out like that. A lot of folks that thought they could still do that, once they left the country, and then once they put the hammer down, they were not able to come back in the country. Some of these people was staying in Airbnb. All their personal belongings, all their everything they own was, in an Airbnb, and they would not allow them to come back into the country to get their belongings to leave. And in a lot of cases, they had to go to the embassy, right? Get some special permission, U.S. Embassy. You don't want to get the State Department involved, in this type of stuff, right? So people are leaving because they can't stay. I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody that's been here, and saying, I want to leave Thailand because I don't like these people are too nice. I want to leave Thailand because the food is too good. I want to leave Thailand because it's too cheap over here. I ain't encountered nobody like that, right? So just be mindful. And I'm talking. I went beyond what I wanted to say. My point I wanted to make is that I'm on what's called a retirement visa. It's called a non-immigrant O visa, right? And what that visa does, it gives me 90 days automatically, right? What I've got to do before the 90 days is out and go to the immigration office and pay a small fee. I think it's about $200, and they'll extend that, I think, up to a year. But my point is, each visa has a certain criteria you have to meet. For me, the non-immigrant O visa, you have to be at least 50 years old. I know that. And you have to have at least either $18,000 in a bank account, or I think it's $18,000, or an equivalent amount. You have to earn that reoccurring. That has to be something that's you guarantee to come into your account to have within the year. Okay, and the bottom line there is there's no welfare system here. You understand? You're not going to come to Thailand and get no public assistance. They're not going to give you a job because they only hire their own. They're not going to give you housing. They're not going to give you food stamps. You're not getting any of that, right? They want to make sure if you're in the country that you can take care of yourself, right? If you're a foreigner in this country, they want to make sure you can take care of yourself. Now, some of the other visas, some folks get visas for teaching visas. They can come in on a teaching visa and stay for a period of time. Others come in what they call digital nomads. As long as they have jobs that are paying them, right, on a regular, you got to fill out the whole application for the particular visa that you want. Then they're allowed to stay for a certain period of time. You even got folks that come in on visas to learn Thai language, right? You got folks that come in, get approved that way. Yeah, others come in to learn how to fight Thai, do Thai boxing. There's so many different visas. But what I've got to do, is for me, I'm on a non-immigrant O visa. So I'm good to go. I've got to go before 90 days up, go to immigration office, give them that $200, and they're going to extend that thing out for another year, whatever the case may be. So I think that's it. Let me make sure I covered everything. I know I've been long-winded, but I just want to share it. I'm full right now, you know. And I know I haven't put nothing out, but you know what? Again, my focus is just to get myself together, to get situated, to get my feet firmly planted on the ground, you know, before I move out. Do anything, but I got some interesting stuff in store. For Chillin with the A. I have some interesting projects in store for Dining with the A, and I hope you guys, stick with me. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure that I covered everything that I wanted to cover real quick. All right. Immigration visa begin. Oh yeah, and I already mentioned that fact that hopefully, God willing, I would have found my permanent condo, within these next couple of weeks. Because my plan is to stay in a condo for up to 12 months. During that 12-month time period, I'll be looking for a house, a villa, if you will. I'll be looking for a villa, baby, so I can climb up there, get me some bananas, and throw a banana up there, knock down some coconuts. You know what I'm saying? Sit on the patio, watch the stars, sit back and watch the stars, right? Or just sit up or stand up and get me some flat rocks and watch them skip across the, that nice clear blue pool out back and everything. You know what I mean? But look, that aside, yeah, a year in the condo, and then I'll, be on my stride trying to hunt for a villa. But look, y'all, thank you so much for being here. I love y'all. If this is your first time, folks that have been with me for a while, I've never talked this long. I've never even been this exposed. But thank you for tolerating me, for indulging me. I appreciate you. I hope you decide to like and subscribe and hype the videos, right? Help us to grow, help us to expand, help us to get even better, help us to be global, if you will, to continue to expand. I really appreciate y'all more than you know. So without further ado, We in Bangkok, you know, and we're gonna make it do what it do. Right? Love y'all. It's EA. Peace out.